I thought we had a word to Leo before this podcast, not to be on his best behaviour.
Look, I'm telling you, he doesn't listen to anyone. Plays by his own rules, Leo.
Would you consider yourself a farmer by trade?
No. Not at all, mate.
What about...
Have you ever seen these mitts get dirty?
Well, are they going to get dirty in the last at Eagle Farm this weekend?
They are. I could be a farmer this weekend. I could take it up. I could change occupations. Could be swayed into doing that.
I think I might join you.
I love 10 race cards at Eagle Farm.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. Some might say that one of these races should be on a Wednesday, but I say boo to you.
Anyone who says that can go and get fucked. Look, the second at Portsea, race 10, Eagle Farm, gate 4.
She jumped from gate 3 last start.
There was a bit of banter. There's a few guys in the ownership at work, and there was a bit of banter saying that, look, we're going to draw Marble 4. And actually, yours truly, Ben Pace, said gate 4 specifically.
Wow.
So I don't think we can say the word without trademark or copywriting on the podcast. Omen, but if that's an omen, if that's not an omen, then, you know, I've never seen one. Are we allowed to say that?
I think so. You know, there's been some good runs. It's been a bit of a form race. Already a winner out of it. And that was a horse that finished 10th in the race.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Of course.
And I did the form for the race and I marked her, you know, the $3 favourite, and they put up double figures, which is unbelievable. Which has been, the $17 is gone.
Well, it'll start single figures as soon as one CS Racing.
The Sneesby effect.
Yeah.
As soon as he has had a dash. But, yes. She's into $13 with Neds now. 55 kilos. Damien Thornton, my jockey, my favourite jockey, keeps the ride. So he bloody should.
So he should. And you know what? He owes us a kiss.
Yeah, he does owe us
He
a
owes
kiss.
a big smack on the lips. Damien Thornton.
So we might have to do that at Eagle Farm, and I think it makes sense to me that we be Saturday winners at both tracks.
Yes, mate.
I hope so.
Anyone calling Flemington HQ can do one because, as far as I'm concerned, Eagle Farm is HQ. Secondly, I'd just like to add an apology to Damien Thornton because very recently, it might have been on the review podcast last week, we were talking about top 5 jockeys in Australia. Damien, we owe you an apology.
That's a miss, isn't it?
An enormous miss.
That is a huge miss. So second at Portsea, number 16 in the last at Doomben. Eagle Farm, my apologies, because we're Eagle Farming this weekend. D. Thornton on 55.5 kilos. The favourite for the O'Day stable, as I look here. Ocean Czar. Smart mare, but she's drawn horrible. Barrier 12, where'd she go?
God, wherever she goes, it's irrelevant because Portsea's going to get the gun run. Sucked in, just blitz past them.
Some might say that she's shown a bit more ability on a soft track, which I'd probably agree with. Both her career wins are on soft, but I'm unsure how she'll go on the concrete of Eagle Farm, which by that time of the day, so be wary there. But at double figure odds, this is an easy bet. Easy bet to have.
Yeah, great bet to have, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe we should pull like a little...
I want to see on the plunge. That's what I want to see this weekend.
Yeah.
For the second at Portsea and the last.
Yeah. Maybe we should pull like a Freeman-esque Mackay Divas third Melbourne Cup type area where we influence the state of the track and just give the track manager at Eagle Farm a bit of a buzz the morning of or day before or what have you to say, look, if you want to leave the hose pipe on, turn the tap off a bit later on than what you usually would, there might be something in it for you.
Could be.
Not much, just a bit of merch.
Yeah.
From the good people at Ned's.
Do you like corduroy caps?
Yeah. We've got a couple of them spare.
Do you like stickers?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. African Daisy, also 20% deductions out of the market as well, early. So she's been scratched out of the market. So
beware. They're scared. They're running scared. The champ's back.
She is back.
She's back.
So we'll discuss if we're going. But One other thing that we discussed on the podcast last week that got some tremendous traction, especially on the platforms of TikTok.
Oh, really?
It's Group 1 Droughts. So this is Group 1 Droughts Part 2. Now, we touched on the Hawks stable, but they have probably one of their best chances this weekend. So the Hawks stable, 871 days in between Group 1 wins.
Yep.
With Yearning in the 2001 1,000 Guineas. They have Macarena.
2001?
2021. 1,000 Guineas. They have Macarena this weekend. And she's a good chance in this round.
She's a chance.
Tommy Berry.
Hallelujah.
Now he was a naughty boy, so he was out of the game for, I think, the autumn last year. How long's it been since Tommy's won?
He won the VRC Oaks on Extreme.
She's Extreme.
She's Extreme.
Yeah.
That was, 2022?
Yeah. 478 days. Well done.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of other ones that are looking to braid their droughts this weekend. So, Regan Bayliss.
Oh.
When's the last time Regan has ridden one?
Regan Bayliss. Oh, absolutely no idea. I'm just gonna throw it out there and say 600 days.
882 days.
Yeah, right, okay.
Private eye in the Epsom.
Wow.
So 2021 Epsom. So Regan this weekend. Now he's got a very good affinity when Rachel King doesn't ride Just Fine. He jumps on. Now Just Fine first up in the VE Stakes, $8 will be tactically in front of Fangirl. Stranger things have happened, Declan.
Look, I've seen longer shots win. I saw Macram salute at $100 plus odds. Did Regan Bayliss win 2 Group 1s in the same day? Is that him?
Potentially. And then he's on Autumn Ballet in this round, and she's $81.
Yeah, justifiable quite.
All right. Let's go down to Melbourne. Luke Curry. When's the last time he won one?
Oh, I'm going to say, was it on Lyre in the Blue Diamond?
No, he did ride her, but that was ages ago. That.
Yeah, that was like 2017.
18, 19 maybe.
Yeah, okay. Oh, since then, I'm not entirely sure. I know he rode Mr. Brightside in the All-Star Mile, but that doesn't count at all. It doesn't count at all. Let's go with 600 days, just my stock standard answer.
1,092 days.
Sheesh.
Sutori.
You're kidding.
In the Newmarket handicap.
I remember that day clearly. Matthew Dolan, your friend Luke. Your good mate Luke Curry.
Now, this one, a lot of punters will be hoping that he breaks his duck here. Chad Schofield.
Oh, Chad.
I would be shocked if he knew this.
I'm thinking Chad won as like a very young man.
Apprentice?
Yeah, Cox Plate.
Seamus
Award.
Not quite. He won a few that year.
Did he?
The 2014 Queensland Derby, apparently back then, was Group 1. Sontag. It's the first time I've heard of that horse. 7th of June, 2014. 3,546 days in between drinks.
Gee whiz,
and
Chad.
He's on the $3.50 favourite, learning to fly in the Surround Stakes. How tight is his arsehole going to be this weekend?
Jesus, a fly just flew in front of me and my life flashed before my eyes. Yeah, tight. Luckily for him, she's drawn a gate.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit easier. He gave her an absolute peach of a ride, did everything but win last start in the Lightfinger Stakes. So hoping a little bit easier. And also, there's two sides to every coin, Daniel. On one side is good luck, and on the other side is shit terrible luck. And he was heading into the Golden Slipper on a really good chance in learning to fly last year.
What happened?
She just was all over the shop.
It's a comedy of events.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a comedy for Chad. Very dangerous for Chad. So that was the bad luck side of the coin. I'm hoping it flips and he gets some good luck this weekend.
Bang.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping.
Why don't we do this round?
Yeah, we can get this around if you want.
Why not? Race 8 at Randwick. So Randwick is in the true position this weekend, as it bloody should be. It's currently rated soft 5, but as we mentioned on the review podcast, if you were playing in some all-in markets, there's plenty of sun in Sydney this week. So this will be a good track, firming into the good 3 range by the quaddy legs, I would imagine. So Learning to Fly is your $3.50 favourite. Barrier 6. We're just going to see a decade of outs being pushed aside here with Chad winning another Group 1, aren't we?
Yeah, look, I think so. Out of that Lightfinger Stakes, we said in the review podcast, there's 2 horses that you want to take out of that race. Learning to Fly and Komochi. Am I on Team Komochi? What do you reckon?
Nah.
No. Someone Team Learning to Fly.
Mate, they sold it.
Unbelievable.
They sold her after the first up run. I could not believe that.
Couldn't believe my eyes and ears.
Just makes me think that she was fully wound up for that first run, and they're like, this is almost the grand final sort of stuff.
Yeah. She hasn't missed a placings, Komochi, in her career to date. I think the trend continues here, but it ain't going to be first. It's going to be second or third. Learning to Fly for me, for a filly that was first up in effectively 12 months, to put that performance on, I was mightily impressed.
Could she be flat second up?
Look, a fair point, but she trialled 3 times into that run. So I think, if anything,
she's 5th up here.
Effectively. I think she's fit and ready to go. If you're looking for second up syndrome to not back a horse, like, fair enough to you, but I completely disregard that, in this instance at least. So for me, Learning to Fly did everything but win first up from the wide gate. Yeah, she's going to be mightily hard to beat. Chad to break his duck. Annabelle Neesham to win the Surround Stakes for the first time, I think.
Oh,
you'd think so?
She had Sunshine in Paris last year.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at the field. You keep talking.
I think she might have won this with Sunshine in Paris last year.
Yeah. But she might have had another runner. Like she pulls her weight, especially in those staying contests with runners. Numerian, Zaki, those types. I can gear up, ran in the Metropolitan maybe.
Maybe. Top Ranked was a good horse.
Yeah. I reckon he was probably one of her best.
Yeah, just
tendon.
Another injury.
And where is he now?
Doing some of his best work.
Yeah.
But there you go, another injury to a great horse. I was thinking about some more today. Arcadia Queen, Probabile. 2 horses taken away from the track before their time. Anyway, so, yeah, pretty basic Learning to Fly for me. I think from that gate, she'll be forward to midfield. She's going to track Komochi and Tropical Squall and Tis Invincible into the race, get a really lovely seat, and she just needs to get out at the right time. She'll be putting these away. She's $3.50 with the good people at Ned's. Look, would I have liked a little bit more cash? Yeah. Am I happy to bet in at that price? I am. Did I take a better price before the gates and the field was finalised? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because I knew I was going to back her, regardless. Up here for thinking. Drifters. Would you be on the same page as me, or are you going in a different direction?
Nah, the way I looked at it, there's two horses that I think you want to be with. Learning to Fly is the only one I want out of the light fingers. I think Komochi had the run of the race. Learning to Fly should have won, but Macarena is easily the second pick for me. I thought she was fantastic wide, no cover against Cabolis and those and NCAPs come out and run super. She beat Celestial Legend that day by 1.5 lengths. What did he do on the weekend? Absolutely brained him. So I think you could make that case, although she was given a bit of weight relief at that set weights and penalties in that race. On equal terms here, but back to the fillies. So where am I ending up here? Barrier 13 is horrific for her. And the 1,400 metre start at Randwick, from what I can see, I think there is about 2 furlongs for them to find their position. So it's not horrific. But at the same time, this stable, the Hawks stable, they bitch and moan like no one else when they draw a poor gate because they're like, well, there's no other option. We're just going to have to go last and pray that she's good enough. Well, okay, you do have another option. Go forward and try. A lot of our races are run at today's speeds anyway.
Try your luck.
Give it a go. Because her run against NCAP when NCAP was like $1.50 in the spring was sensational. Now, she only beat the likes of Razors and Snapback. So, in reflection, is that form any good? I don't know. But she beat home a lot of smart colts first up. So, I like that alternative film line, but I think the Light Fingers is the best. So, Learn to Fly on top for me, first time ever. Macarena in for second. I think Kaimachi will hold on for another Group 1 placing. Since she's been ridden on the speed, I think she's far more reliable because she was just chasing home the likes of Tiz Invincible early in the spring. And I think J-Mac on Tiz Invincible, there is a little bit of juice in that donut, I reckon. $6.50. I could see her out to the 1,400 metres doing some of her best work.
100%. If I was going to steer you into one of odds drifters, it'd be number 10, Rollin' High. So she was the filly who won Cup Week.
Strange
that she's first up.
And these moody fillies first up, Autumn Angel, Molly Knickers. Roll on High is probably the speediest of those three. So she's probably got the best chance to win, but I don't know. I feel like they need a run.
Well, yeah, but she's $13. So
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Of those ones that you'd think this would be a more likely race to win, you'd have Roll on High ready to go here.
Absolutely.
Second up, third up, maybe.
100%.
Maybe start her off in the Light Fingers. But Moody's got his theories, so God knows where he's going with this filly, but I've got a lot of time for her. I think if she went to the 1,000 Guineas, she would have given it a red-hot crack. She's beat Jolly Star, who won the 1,000 Guineas, Kamachi, who we saw come out and win last start. So a little bit of a tricky gate, but Seamus Award filly, we know she's going to get out over further. So one to watch for the rest of the carnival.
Yeah. Arctic Glamour, 18.
Gross stable.
$18. They were saying that she's potentially a vinery filly. Now, sure, I think Orchestral will have something to say about that.
She would, and that's just probably got me thinking that's exactly where Rollin' High is going to go, obviously.
Probably, yeah, but then you have Molly Knickers and Autumn Angel all going there.
Yeah, but, Moods wouldn't mind having 3 or 4 in the race, you'd think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Orchestral.
G'day, Dale.
Big watch.
Let's go back to race 7, the Verry Elleegant Stakes. J-Mac, Chris Waller, the connections, they would just be so keen to win this.
Oh, God, yeah, they would. And so it's funny how often in racing these sort of stars align with each other.
Yeah.
And I was literally thinking before the race, I was like, would a terrible barrier dim Fangirl's chances? She never draws a gate, so on and so forth. So I went back through. So she's drawing gate 10 here, Drifters, and I went back through her recent races to see what she's drawn. So gate 7 of 9 last start, 7 of 7 the start before that, 9 of 12 in the Cox Plate. Drew a gate in the King Charles. We saw what she did there. Gate 10 of 11.
Whatever that. The 7 stakes.
Yeah, whatever that is.
10 of 16 in the Winks.
Yep. And then before that, in the Doncaster, 17 of 20. So look, I can going back further. Like she drew a gate 17 in the Golden Eagle. This filly can never draw a gate.
Yeah.
Yet she's managed to put together a record where, with her pattern as well, she's won 30% of the time. So smaller field here, and what she showed first up in the Apollo, that she's at a point in her career at the peak of her powers where the gate doesn't matter. At least to me in this sort of race, especially with J-Mac on. Like she'll go back, but I think he'll just pull the trigger earlier than what he usually would and just have a sustained sprint.
They just fly for him, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's just like getting into a rhythm with these horses. Like Huey, we saw Huey on Winks do that. Like a few of them do it for Jamie Carr as well. J-Mac's just got this uncanny knack. There's a reason why they put him on the shorties.
Yeah.
He just gets them in the perfect position. Like, one thing I think we failed to actually say in the review of that is her smashing the clock in that last 600, 200 meter sectionals. Like, J-Mac wasn't moving on her. She was doing that by herself.
She was let down. She was let down probably 300, 400 meters
Like,
to go. Like, he wasn't giving her a nudge at all, and could have put up a massive rating figure if he got everything out of her. And she's a better miler than a 1,400 meter horse, I think. So yeah, you're not getting any meat on the bone at $1.55 with the good people at Ned's, but there's nothing else that I want to bet into in this race.
Like, Just Fine is interesting because, he started like a $3 favourite against Alligator Blood and whoever else in that Group 1 at Flemington or Caulfield, the Caulfield Stakes, so the Might and Power, I believe. Market loved him. Just came to the end of prep there. But prior to that, especially first up and second up in particular, over that mile to 2,000 metres, he was dynamic. He was really, really smart. So I have a really big opinion of this horse. Barrier 2, Regan on, do I foresee a universe where Fangirl can't reel this horse in? Potentially, because a rock hard deck probably presents itself with an opportunity for there to be a bit more of a leaderish bias on the day.
Potentially.
If the rail's on, Just Fine's going to be awfully hard to get past. Am I going to put my nutsack on the line,
put him on top,
and suggest that Fangirl is going to get beaten by Just Fine? I don't think so. Like, I'll have playing the Quinella. That's how I'll play the race. Yeah. And I'm not taking $1.50 on Fangirl just because of her pattern. Barrier 10. Too many other factors out here. Tissue's dual accepted for the Blamey down at Flemington as well. So, we'll probably know Saturday morning about 7:27 when that comes through.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Chris Waller this week. I can't remember where I saw it, but basically he's asking him, so what's the plan with Riff Rocket after the Australian Guineas? If it goes well, will you stay down in Flemington or will you take him to Sydney? And he's like, I'm not sure. We'll nominate for everything. Ask about a different horse. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll nominate for everything. It's just like,
come on, mate.
Give us a chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Fangirl's definitely the one, but I'm not betting on this race.
All right, let's get into a contest where there's another Chris Waller shorty, but I could see a universe with a bit of not a blowout, but not a shock result, but another good horse winning in the Australian Guineas at Flemington. The other Group 1 on the cards, so 1,600 metres Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. Set weights, Riff Rocket, Craig Williams has drawn barrier 9, perfect for him, just to get him rolling on down that straight and getting him winding up.
Yeah, I think so.
$2.40 at this stage, that's a bet for me. He's just going to be so hard to beat.
Yeah, because we think he's going to be better over the mile, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was dominant first up.
That's a dive in. That's a dive in price to me. Like, okay, what are you concerned about here? King Colorado? No, he beat him fair and square.
Yeah, but the King I reckon he's a better miler. He was third up going into the JJ Atkins. And that was his first prep. I think there was still a
unknown caller.
Sorry about that. Don't know who that is. So apologies. Yeah, third up in the JJ. I think he's gonna run a decent race here. Got that nudge in the ribs at the top of the straight as well. So I could potentially see him running a decent race.
Yeah, he can run on a bit, can't he?
That he can.
He can run on a bit.
Like Riff Rocket. He can run on a bit, but he's first past the post when he does it.
He runs on 2 in.
Yeah, he's 5 from 8.
Nah, yeah, Riff Rocket's the one for me. I'm confident that he wins this. If I was to steer into a couple of roughies or drifters, Verdad's $21.
Yeah,
Gate 3 is good for him.
Strange things have happened where at Flemington in a circle race in particular, there could be a leader bias in recent times.
Who would have thought? And he was good resuming. He's still a lightly raced horse. So, could he turn the tables? At $21, if you want to find out, I wouldn't talk you out of it.
The gelded son of Justify.
Oh, like a brave man to geld any of these sons, that's for sure. It must have been an absolute nutcase. Couple of others bringing New Zealand form over. Number 7, the Pendragon, and number 15, Quintessa. So Quintessa, the 3-year-old filly, she won a Group 1. Pretty sure won a Group 1. Pendragon beat her the previous start, and then she ran in open weight for Age Company. She ran 4th. From what I saw of her Group 1, bunched finish, and you've got to question the quality of some of their Group 1s over there. So, look, they're $20. I think both of them are around $20, yeah, for a reason. So,
yeah.
But again, roughies, if you trust the New Zealand form, I'm not one who typically does, but if you do, drifters, and I wouldn't talk you out of it. But now for me, that the $2.45 right now with the good people at Ned's on offer for Roof Rocket, to me, that's a dive in bet. That's a dive in and take a big gulp of air before you go down, because you're going to be down there for a long time. Dive in, just get real deep in it.
What about the Cat? Hey, Fat Cat, 4 weeks in a row.
Not interested in a horse like that, mate. V8, he's a 1,400 metre horse to me. Not interested in a horse like that.
Barrier 1?
I'm not interested in a horse like that.
He'll probably be leading.
I'm not interested in a horse like that.
Ethan Brown?
It creates no interest.
I agree.
I'd rather steer into like a Southport Tycoon.
Yeah, unlucky. Oh,
Yeah.
Was he last start? Like he was a bit of caddish last start.
This is all filler, drifters, by the way. Like Riff Rocket's winning this race. I'm just trying to give you, some angles on the race.
Best roughie for me is Cap Ferrar. So Cap Ferrar for the stablemate of Riff Rocket. So he's $46 with Neds at the moment.
Second best mate in the country.
Yeah.
Second best
behind his other stablemate Counter. But he's got a Counter-like resume. 10 starts, no wins. But this horse has talent. He has a lot of talent. Now he can run on a bit, but he was from an impossible position at the top of the Flemington Straight. 1,400 metres, far too short. The son of Schnitzel. Getting out to the mile here will definitely suit him. Love Flemington for him as well. I think he'll close the gap, and I think he'll beat home the likes of like your Otargos and that sort of thing. So I want to be. He's one for your Ned same race multis, I reckon. Cap Ferrar.
Yep.
Now let's go back to let's stay at Flemington, I reckon.
Yep.
And let's preview some of the undercard. So Flemington, let's go to race 4, the Furphy Trophy. I reckon you've had a couple of those before, the Furphy Trophies.
A couple of them. Responsibly.
1,000 metre listed race for the 2-year-old, set weights and penalties. Bold Bastille beat home. I think she's the only horse to beat home, the Blue Diamond winner.
Yeah.
She absolutely brained her. $2.20 is awfully short for what was, on face value, a really disappointing first up run.
It was. And she pulled up lame, Bold Bastille. So, and she's drawn gate 1 here. She's going to lead again. I think the 1,000 metres is a tick for her. $2.20 is pretty short, but I think she's the logical starting point in this race. So you're trusting her to bounce back. Could she be a filly that loses this and goes on to do absolutely nothing? 100%. 100%.
There's heaps of them.
There's a lot of them. Early hype, and it's not met. There's one that I could steer into, drifters. It's actually dual accepted, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not going to sit here on my podcast and not tip a horse that is named after this podcast.
Exactly. It's dual accepted as well because, we like to hedge our bets here as well. Number 5, Drifting.
Who's the stable?
Yeah, Snowden's.
Yes.
Soft hands J Carr on. I absolutely have to bet on this horse.
100% you do. If you like the dribble that we go on with, you have to have a bet on this horse as well. Yep. For our sake.
And I actually liked its work first up on debut.
3 wide doing a hell of a lot of work.
Doing a lot of work.
J Carr on 55 kilos. Barrier 9, I've seen worse bets. And
Yeah, mate. Yes, mate.
And I love...
I bet on bloody Young Werner the other week. That's the worst bet.
And I love that they stick to the 1,000 metres as well. Instead of going up in distance after that bit of a gut buster, I reckon she could be dynamic enough over the 1,000 metres to get the job done here drifting. Yeah, easy bet. Easy bet.
On the drifting. $5 with Ned's launch responsibly.
Yeah, please. Now, I included the English Sprint in this preview as well because I thought it was a nice little race. Now, race 7 on your program is that English Sprint. Estriella is accepted for this race, $4 favourite. Caboolus, the newly talented Caboolus for Bjorn Baker, he's turned this horse around. Now, where is Estriella drawn? So they're on the opposite sides of the track. Caboolus has gone grandstand side. Estriella's gone midfield.
Gate 6 is a good gate down the straight.
It's not bad. Where'd you land?
I've got no reason to jump off Estriella.
She was brilliant, wasn't
She was great. Bloody Blake Shin just took her wide and was like, I'm on the best horse. I'll take her wide and I'll win with a leg in the air. But Caboolus was great too, first up.
He was fantastic.
So, like, I've got, if you want to put Caboolus on top, he could win. I'm not going to begrudge you. But, if I'm tipping a horse on top and she wins like that with my cash, like I'm riding that wave until I get dunked by said wave, which could happen this weekend. And plus, I was buoyed by what Kieran Maher said. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I got a lot of time for this filly." 11. I like that she's gone 1,100 up to 1,200 as well, whereas Caboolus is staying at the 1,200 meters. He's a toppy. Look, she's basically weighted the same as a filly anyway, but I'm sticking with Estriella.
Yeah. The way he talked about her reminded me a bit of how he was talking about Tiz Invincible in the spring. So I've got one outside of those two. Now, can you believe that someone by the name of Nathan Doyle has never been to Flemington? Ever.
What?
Never. So this is the first time he's ever going, and he has a runner in the race, number 16, Midnight Opal. So had a look at this colt's work. Now, he was finishing off pretty nicely against the likes of Mumbai Muse in the Brian Crowley at Randwick in the spring. Now, could potentially have been a prep away. But how often do you kind of... I can picture this in my mind's eye, right? This horse has talent. A couple of nice trials, sure. But what is really steering me into this horse at $21 with good people Neds is I can foresee in my mind's eye Emma Freeman or Jason Richardson interviewing Nathan Doyle after the race going like, mate, you should bloody come back to Flemington more often.
I can definitely see Richo asking a question like that.
Like $21. What's the harm? $5 on, bang. You got your play money for the rest of the card.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we've spoken about this ad nauseum. What are the repercussions for you if it doesn't win? What are the repercussions?
None.
If any drifter slid into our DMs, like that dickhead who did a few weeks ago who had to grill the bloody crayon eater, like if any drifter slid into our DMs saying, nice one, Hutch, this thing ran on for a nice fifth, you immediately text back saying, look at the price, fuckwit, $21. There's no repercussions.
There isn't. Nathan Doyle, by the way, he can train fast horses. He's got a winning strike rate of just under 21% as trainer. That's elite. Now, he does play in his own backyard in Newcastle, but he occasionally takes him to the big smoke.
Mate, there's a lot of dynasties, a lot of empires that are built on R&Ping your own backyard. You know,
well said.
Yeah. Like, do you think the Romans bloody didn't dominate at home? No, they R&P'd.
Yeah, they did R&P. Let's go to Randwick. Race 4 on the program is the Skyline Stakes. Storm Boy, if he's going to get beaten this prep, this is the run, I think. $1.30. Am I backing him at that price? Absolutely not. I don't need to. I've got a $28 ticket in the slipper. you've heard this several times. J-Mac takes the ride. Barrier 1 will find the front. He'll be hard to get past.
Yeah. I want to see him brain these like
Same.
so badly.
Like these, with all due respect, I think there's some champagne, like size produce and champagne stakes horses in here, like the likes of Parkour and President. Like Prost will run in the slipper, but he's
Prost is the only one in the race who I could see running first half of the field in the slipper, aside from Stormboy.
Yeah, I reckon Parkour is interesting. Godolphin do this a lot, where they send him all over the place. This guy, his debut run at Ballarat behind the likes of Arabian Summer, who I think was she the first filly home in the Magic Millions, maybe?
She might have been, yeah.
Yeah, and like she absolutely brained him. But the next start at Randwick, you know, doing a lot of work. Jamie Carr rode that day actually at the end of December, but bit of a gap here, and both of those runs, you know, 8 horse field, 10 horse field. Drew barrier 8, had to go last basically. Drawn barrier 5 here, which still isn't 100% great, but should be closer. And if it, you know, it's drawn to do no work, then I could see it like running a decent race at $10. The other one, you know, you did mention Prost. He was great first up, but I feel like I've got out of the casino with him. The one at big price was President. So another one for the China Horse Club, Racing Silks. I'm Invincible rather.
Vinny.
This horse looks now looking at the breeding, he won't get there, but like he looks like a Champagne Stakes sort of horse.
Who, President?
Yeah, he looks like he could get over more ground after his debut win. But he did run on a bit, so. But am I jumping into anything to beat Stormboy? I might have $5 on Parkour, just because I can.
Yeah, there is no better justification than that. I'm gonna have $5 on this thing purely because I have the ability to.
Because there's zero value in the Quinella, none.
No,
absolutely none. If Stormboy for whatever reason has a disaster, like I don't want to get involved in that.
No,
$1.20, $1.30, mate, for a 2-year-old, like that's awfully short.
It is.
It's justified though.
It is justified. Look, he could make $1.30 look like a capital G gift.
True.
GIFT. He could. Or it could all go horribly wrong.
He could.
And we could be playing I wouldn't even be playing I Told You So on the review podcast. I'll be playing give me the keys to the car. I'm driving off the Story Bridge. I could be playing that card because I'd just be utterly disappointed. I want to see him lead. I want to see him lead comfortably, and with 100 meters to go, you're like, holy shit, who's beating this thing in the slipper? That's what I want to see.
Like his smallest winning margin is 2.5 lengths.
That was a pathetic effort.
Like, yeah, he's so good. So, you know, barrier 1, he could be in there for a while, but 9 horse field, they'll load him. I reckon this will be the quickest loaded race all day. They'll look after him, 100%.
I hope so.
Yep. All right, race 6 is the Fillies edition, the Sweet Embrace. Set weights here, 1,200 metres. I could not get Manal this short, $2.10. I thought that was ridiculously toxic odds.
That is ridiculous. Well, drifting's up here at 20, so that'll be my bet.
Yeah, 100%.
If it's up here. But look, I thought Castagna was pretty good beating Embassy last start at $7.
Sure, the Blue Diamond form, like she did run second to Lady Camelot Manal, but she got brained by 3 lengths. Like if the likes of Castagna or, you know, if drifting was there, I feel like they could make up that difference in them being defeated. You know what I mean? So there is absolutely no way. And if this horse wins at $2.10, so be it. it'll be without my money on. Castagna, as you outlined, barrier 14 stinks, but it's a get back horse anyway. So, you know, hopefully Zach, they can run on during, through the middle of the track and we'll be given a chance. But if not, drifting, easy choice, easy bet.
This weekend's looking so straightforward.
All right, race 9. The Guy Walter Stakes, Group 2 for the mares, set weights penalties. Oh, we forgot a race at Flemington, which we definitely Blamey, but we'll go back.
Okay.
We'll preview that last because it's a good race. Your girl, Jewess.
Yeah, she wants further than this. Set weights and penalties. I wouldn't be talking you into $5.50 about her. Like, could she put this field away? Yeah, she could.
Hinged at $3.50.
It doesn't make any sense. She looks like a horse who's ready for the bloody breeding barn.
Mate, she's had the last 12 months, 8 starts for no placings.
Bizarre.
$3.50. This is, to be fair, probably one of the easiest races that she's contested, but you can leave me out of her.
Oh, no, I completely agree. Well, that leaves not many, right? Alentia?
Like, yeah,
Is this the race for her?
Logical next choice, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. Weighted well, 1,400 metres, draws a gate. You could argue that Tommy Berry didn't do his best work on her last start. You could argue that.
The protest would suggest that was the truth.
Yeah, I think he was clutching at straws a little bit with Samana. But Samana was the rock hard fit mare. Well backed on this podcast. So I think Alentia is the one. $2.40 is probably what you want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want any shorter.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you want one for your multiples, now this horse is also dual accepted. Number 6, Osbred Flirt, which I know you won't agree with, but really stylish first up win in the spring against the likes of Ivan's Hero, who's been jumping out quite nicely at Flemington. She is accepted. There's a hell of a race tomorrow. I think it might be at Kembla, maybe. It's on Thursday, but mate, she goes around against Straight Acer on a Thursday in the Country Championships qualifier or something. So, hell of a little race there. But if she lines up here at $12, if she can capture her first up form, she could win this.
100%.
Yeah. Now, in the last, the Liverpool City Cup, Group 3, 1,300 metres. If I thought Coal Crusher was a decent chance in a Canterbury Stakes, well, he's probably not going to go there because that race would be next weekend. But $5 here, he'll look awfully. I reckon he'll look the winner about 200 from home. Coal Crusher.
He'll look the winner. Do you know what frustrates me? Seeing Kovalika in this race.
Oh, mate, I saw Rory Flanagan, right? So expert UK analyst and loves his Australian racing as well. Good analyst, good insight, controversial insight at times.
That's good. You've got to have an opinion.
But he's like, so who's Chris Waller? Which one of Chris Waller's stays is going to target the Doncaster this year? Egg Tart, Shared Ambition, Kovalika this year. It's frustrating, mate. So frustrating.
Yeah, he's like, can he win a Doncaster? Yeah, he can. But he's a 2,000 metre horse.
He can win a Cox Plate. Kovalika.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to manage this horse as it stands right now.
Are the ownership pushing for it?
Potentially.
In our experience, debatable.
Look, what do we know? Ultimately, what do we know? He could come out and win this, and we could look like absolute dills. But we just, from everything we've seen from him, is screaming 2,000 metres.
I agree, Declan.
Get him there. Don't start him at 1,300 metres. Doesn't make any sense. So look, in this race, there's a horse who's working through his grades.
Smart.
Yeah.
The chat. Win chat.
Like, this is, I'm not saying that is he the best horse in the race. Definitely not saying that. But he profiles like the sort of horse where he could steal this race against better horses. He's third up, well weighted.
Like,
he puts himself into the race.
Yeah.
You know, at $5, I'd be willing to find out.
13 stinks.
13 is very stinky. I'm hoping that he sort of follows Cold Crusher across and just gets the maybe, 3 back,
Yeah.
bit of cover
Yeah.
off the fence.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Golden Mile in a race like
Yeah.
this?
He was the other one. So I would definitely be putting him into my quaddie. So $11, a total forgive first up. I think he was so good in the spring. And I think he's better suited to this 1,300 to 1,400 meters for Golden Mile. First up, he was coughing after the race. That cannot possibly help him. Forgive him. So what did he do second up in the spring? Absolutely nothing. But he's back to his right grade, I think, Golden Mile. He can win this as well. Cepheus could win this.
Cepheus good. Cepheus is a good horse.
He
Matty
is.
Dunn.
Matty Dunn.
What's he done wrong?
One of the great combos, that M Dunn and Raw Willow.
What is that combination strike rate,
It's,
I wonder?
it's hot.
It's
what it
hot.
is.
It's a hot strike rate.
Yeah.
We don't talk percentages and numbers when it comes to this strike rate. We just say it's hot.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's go back to Flemington, the Blamey. Race 9, 1,600 metres, Group 2, set weights penalties. Now, Tissue, Drool accepted here. She'll be awfully hard to beat if she lines up here. $5 favourite. Blake Shinnon, barrier 11. She'll be probably up the arse end, as she typically is, but she gets around Flemington so bloody well. Muramasa. I think he's a bet here.
I think he's a bet at 14s first up. Is he better over further? Yeah.
But he's a stayer resuming at the mile.
And what's he going to find down in Melbourne? A dry deck.
And the large flowing expanses of Flemington, which he absolutely
eats it up. He's a bet at 14s for sure. The other one who I think's a bet, who's treated pretty well at the weights, is Carini. I thought he was good first up.
Yeah,
in that race.
he was.
Is that race the right form line for this?
Well,
Macram.
hey, there was $1.20 favourite in that race. But Macram, to be fair, that's like his career peak.
I wouldn't be diving into if you dove into Macram in the $8, I wouldn't begrudge you, but I'm steering clear of that horse.
He's now won. He has a 50% winning strike rate at the track, Macram. And it's fair to say that was him first up. His best run on the prep is arguably second up. He could easily explode here. But am I going to dive in? No, because I loved the resume of Muramasa during the spring. Go back and have a look at his trials in the lead up to that first run. Mirror image of what's happened again this here. I think and sure, what did he beat first up at that Flemington meeting during the spring? Not a hell of a lot, right? Gregor Lemo, who has a bit of caddish behaviour, Mac Tube. But there was still 6 horses that came out and have won from that race. I look at this field, right? Barclay Square. He's not a Group 2 horse. He's a benchmark 100 horse. Sue-Zero. He's a country cup sort of operation. Holy Mans went over to New Zealand recently. Macram, benchmark 100 in my opinion. Ayrton at $4.60.
Toxic.
He will not run out the mile. A Tissue's the one I'm really, really spooked about. Future History, he needs further. Again, he's resuming at the mile, so that's probably into his hands. But I can just see there's not much speed in this race. I could see Future History going forward. I could see Sue-Zero going forward as well. Muramasa, buckets on, who just gets on so well with this horse. Camp behind him. And just grinds away from the 500. Bang. See you later, baby.
If he didn't have a centre mine on, I couldn't live with myself.
You couldn't.
I couldn't live with myself. No, look, yeah. I think you've nailed the race. I wouldn't be diving into a Tissue at $5, personally. So at the way the weights are in this race, she's a good mare, but
Weighted up to her best.
I think so. I think she'd need to go really well to win this.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Flemington, some of these horses at Flemington just sprout wings. She's one of them. I probably prefer to back her, like, I don't know, fourth up in a prep. I feel like when she's deeper into a prep, she does her best work. But, second up last prep, she was not far behind Espiona. So
I'm just looking at tissue here. So she's had 4 starts to the track for 2 wins and a second. I don't know about the fourth run, but the 2 first and the second, she had J-Mac on all of those times.
yeah,
Could that be a factor?
potentially, but at the same time, Blake Shin's on her. Like, he's almost like the equivalent of...
The one time she missed the placings at Flemington, she ran 5th. Brent Pebble was on board. Look, I could look like a genius. It could be the J-Mac factor plus Flemington.
Potentially.
But what you said about her, better into her prep.
Yeah. So at the $5, she's the one I'm spooked about. Hope she goes to Sydney because she won't be winning the VE. And then Muramasa is a clear bet. He'll probably after deductions come into about $10. Still get double figures. Yes, please. Yum, yum.
Yep. And just looking at the timing of this race.
Oh, that's a great point.
It's so this race is at nearly 5 o'clock. And then
No,
the last
4 p.m.
Oh, shit. 4 p.m. And then we've got like an hour and take it to the last race at Eagle Farm on Saturday, Drifters. Race 10. There's an absolutely outstanding bet here. Number 16, the second at Portsea. Drawn a perfect gate. Dynamic first up. You could say it was probably the win of the carnival thus far.
Win of the year.
In a Class 1. Basically a Group 1 up here in the Sunshine State. 1,600 metres. Arguably top 5 jockey in Australia, Damien Thornton on.
Would have thought so.
Awfully hard to beat, and they're giving you $13. Awfully hard to beat.
We're eagle farming this weekend. Come join us.
Get your bloody Ringers Western on. Get your long jeans and your RMs and your Akubra on. We're going eagle farming.
Beg, borrow, steal responsibly.
Yep.
She could be. You might never see these odds again.
Look, when she's lining up in a Stradbroke handicap as a $3 favourite.
Knocks off Amelia's Jewel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that during the week. Look, we don't want to be the guys to say, I told you so, and you don't have a cent on. Do with that information what you will.
Hey, I'm not greedy. A Tas Tiara is fine.
Yeah, I'll take a Tas Tiara.
Yeah, I might have to cancel my UK trip for that. Could you imagine?
Imagine that. You're like, of course, I somehow have a horse in a Group 1.
How? How's that happen? All right, we'll see you Sunday.
See you, Drifters.